Everyone's been really liking my watch build videos, which is awesome. So today, we're going to build another one. What am I going to put on my wrist this time though? Well, if the thumbnail didn't give it away, then you'll just have to wait and see. Much like the previous automatic build, we're going to need a set of parts, including the movement, the hands, the dial, the case, and the band. This watch is going to be a chronometer, and one of the go-to movements for chronometers is the VK63, so that is what this build is going to be based around. This VK63 has 3 subdials showing 24-hour time, the minute counter for the chronometer, and seconds. I've sidestepped the ordinary and picked up a Jubilee bracelet for this build. The hands I selected are pretty basic, but that's by design. I don't want them to take any attention away from the dial face I've selected. So now for the already obvious reveal. Yes, this will be a Rolex Daytona homage. Now I wouldn't have complained if the dial face arrived from AliExpress and had Rolex branding, but I don't see how it makes any sense to put Seiko branding on this dial. Anyway, the only other alternative was to buy a blank dial face, and I felt that really just looked incomplete. So it may not be right, it may be weird, but I'll live with it. And as we're talking about the dial, the first step is to put it on the movement. To do this, we're going to need some tools again though. Since the last video, I've added this O-ring seal lubricator to my toolset, as this is something that will be needed for this build specifically. The dial face for this VK63 movement is held in place by friction alone. All I need to do is align the dial to the movement, specifically by finding 6 o'clock so I know which way up the dial goes, and then press fitting it into the movement. It's held in place by just 2 dial feet. So far, easy peasy. In preparation for testing the functionality of each of the hands, I next fit the crown stem. Fitting the hands themselves wasn't too bad. There is double the amount that I need to do as compared to last time, and the sub-dial hands are minute, pardon the pun. But despite that, it's not a particularly protracted process. And prior performance precipitated palatable placement. After definitely not removing the hands multiple times in order to get the vertical spacing just right, I moved on to fitting the movement into the case. Much like last time, this involves seating the movement into the case. Other way. Other way. Other way, dude. Dude. Nah, turn around. Other way. Yeah? There you go. Yeah, after seating the movement into the case, one of the final steps is to cut the crown stem. And this is where I had some issues last time. Let's just say I didn't quite learn from my mistakes. You see, what I failed to notice or remember at the time is that this case is designed for a screw down crown. The crown itself is sprung on the crown stem and therefore has some float. One only needs to cut down the crown stem so far such that the crown actually begins engagement onto the threads. Not all the way to the case like you see me measuring here. Suffice to say, I was pretty frustrated with myself when I realised I'd done it again, but I managed to make it work. So there we go. The finished aesthetic of my Daytona homage, ready to be sealed up. The final struggle I had with this build was the watch band. I bought a very nice, expensive for AliExpress watch band. It was fully machined, both in terms of the band links and the end links. It also had a very nice clasp, and screw pins, not split pins. Unfortunately, I just could not get the split pins through the end links and have them align with the lug holes in the case. This was also pretty shattering, but I did have a backup. It's unfortunately not nearly as nice, but it is the same aesthetic that I was wanting to go for, and it completes this build. The issues with this band are many. It's a cheap band, so I really can't complain. But if I am to complain, the clasp is horrible, the end links are horrible, the band links are horrible. It has a Rolex logo, which is not in keeping with the Seiko dial face, and I think that's all of the components of this watch band that I could provide positive or negative comment about. So anyway, to sum up, it's my Rolex Daytona Panda homage. It's a watch. It tells time. It looks good. It doesn't feel good. Maybe some point in the future I'll see if I can find a different band or just get a conventional Oyster. But I am kind of over the Oyster bracelets right now. I've got too many. So yeah, it works. It's a watch. Will I wear it very much? Possibly not. But if you're interested in building something like this, have a look at the links to these products in my video description. And if you like this video, chuck us a like and a sub. That'd be great. Catch you later. Bye.